started on our Wednesday webinar. We're going to talk with you about our training workshop. And the reason we're going to do it today is because we're right in the middle of our first training workshop for 2019. We're going to talk to you about how to be successful in medical billing in 5 days. Now, I know a lot of questions get asked about, gosh, what can I learn in 5 days and be able to get into this medical billing? Am I really going to be able to learn enough in all that I can without going to a school for a year, year and a half, maybe 2 years, trying to get a degree in medical billing? We're going to answer that question today. And so hopefully if you've got a partner, a spouse, just anybody that's asking you, how in the world are you going to learn medical billing in 5 days and be successful at it? Well, we're going to give you the answer this afternoon. So again, let me welcome you. We've got a great crowd that's coming in, very good crowd of what we're looking into in anticipation. We've already got some folks signing in their names, so I appreciate those that have actually been on our webinars before. Now's the time for us to go ahead and get started. Let me introduce again myself. My name is Eric Auger. I'm the Director of Research and Development here at American Business Systems, and I love to be the first one to be able to welcome you here to our presentation this afternoon. We've got a few little things we want to share with you about. The biggest one that I can tell you about right now is that ABS has been in existence for 25 years. It's gone through many different changes. It was American Billing Systems. It went from actually a billing company to American Billing Systems to American Business Systems. And it's all been part of the whole same organization for the last 25 years. Now, again, some of you already jumped the gun here. We already got some great, we've got, wow, great group of people already. We're looking forward for you just to type in your name. That's all I need there. Just find the question box area. This is for two reasons. We want to make sure we're being heard. And secondly, we want to for you just to know where the question box is, because we're going to be going through a lot of information this afternoon, and we want you to make sure that you are getting all your questions answered as we go through this afternoon. So I'm starting to see some there. There's John from New Mexico, Claude from Fort Lee, New Jersey, Daniel, good to have you here, Christian, Charlene, Joseph, Adrian, Monica, good to see you here, good to have you, Lorna, Lenora, sorry about that, but Bob, Renee, Rosie, thank you. We got Lydia, Shannon, Dean, Daniel's out of Florida, Amanda here from Wichita. Great group of people. I hope you folks in the north are staying warm as you can. We're having nice weather here in Dallas this week, so hopefully you'll get some pretty cool, some nice weather here pretty soon. Folks, if you already know this about American Business System, those that have been on there, this is your first time. Before you write out that check for your investment and sign that paperwork, if you'd like to come by and visit with us, we welcome you to do that. We are at 5751 Kroger Drive here in Fort Worth, Texas. And again, love for you to be a part and come on and visit us. If you're doing your due diligence, you're going to be checking out the Better Business Bureau in Fort Worth. There you can find our A+ rating, and we do all that we can to keep maintaining that, because that means good customer service on the back end. Our medical billing platform, this is the core of the business. You're going to be seeing some other ancillary services that we have, but the core of the business that you're going to be learning during that live training workshop is iClaim and EMRX, and this is where you're going to be making the bulk of your money, is utilizing really a state-of-the-art billing system to help you get those doctors signed. He is our CEO and the founder of American Business Systems. He is also the chairman of the board of the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. He's written several articles with the Billing and Coding Magazine, Advantage Magazine, and he is the author of all these books and still trying to get some other books out of the door. But Patrick, I'm going to bring you on because I know we got a lot to cover here this afternoon. And again, we've got a wonderful, wonderful crowd here this afternoon.
Yeah, I see that.
Well, you took this picture right before you left that training workshop. Tell us what's going on with this group here today.
Oh, yeah, that is the actual class. I just left there and snapped that picture just so you could kind of see the size of this. People ask us all the time, how big are the classes? As you can see, I think this is a total maybe of 17 people is in this class. We try to limit these to around 20 at the most, because that gives us the best interaction between people. You have plenty of time for questions, and you just get to know other people in the class. And believe me, that's a part of your support when you leave, is you've got some emotional support from other people who are starting their business the same way you are.
Right. You know, I know that we love to be able to do this, and although I know we're going to be talking about the training workshop, but Adam, the president of the company, forwarded you and me some news articles that have just been released here in January. A lot of people want to know about the growth of medical billing outsourcing, and this is a forecast that they're making here. This came out January the 18th. It says, and folks, I mean, you can read all of that stuff there in the middle, but what it's basically saying, the global medical billing outsourcing market is projected to register a compound annual growth rate of about 10.5%. Goodness, from now until 2023. Patrick, I think we're on a good trajectory.
Yeah, you know, anything that has a growth rate of 10.5% in today's world is just fantastic for a particular industry. And folks, healthcare is 1/5 of the entire economy in the United States.
Yeah.
So to see it growing, that doesn't surprise me at all, Eric, because there's 10,000 new baby boomers that are retiring each day in America. Yeah. So you've got that many more people that have now free time to, think about their health and go to the doctor more.
And this is it's not just saying 10% across that. This is a compounding annual growth of 10.5%. So this is going to take us a long time to get through. The other question.
By the way,
yeah, go ahead.
By the way, numbers are very important, folks. You might want to jot some of these down. If you're serious about getting into this business, we'll supply all this to you. But there might be a pop quiz at the end of this, Eric. I've never done this before, but there'll be a little pop quiz that pops up with 5 or 6 questions at the end. So
yep, you guys are paying attention. Another question people ask, Patrick, what about all these doctors that are associated with hospitals that they are they're no more independent doctors? Well, article just came out January the 22nd. Well, I think that's like last week. Yeah. This is more than 40 doctors serving the Charlotte area region to leave Novant Health to start new group. So it starts right here in this article that dozens of doctors are breaking away in hopes of starting an independent group. So there are doctors that are just sick and tired of being employees of these health organizations.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is that they're actually leaving big groups and wanting to start their own independent group of doctors. So that means they'll be doing their own billing. This would be a great lead for anybody that wanted to go after this group. Of course, 40 doctors in there. I might not recommend that you do that as your very first client, but they're out there, and they're coming out of the hospitals, Eric, because after their contract of 2 or 3 years is up, they realize, hey, I didn't realize I was going to work as hard as I was for as little money as they're paying me. I have to prescribe what they tell me to and see patients for a certain length of time, and they don't like that. So they're going back into private practice. Yeah.
You bet. We're going to get started here, Patrick. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff to try to get through. I'm going to pop up this first title slide again, just to kind of remind people, what we're going through this afternoon. So again, we're going to be monitoring your questions as you kind of go through here this afternoon.
Eric, I've got the slides. You want me to drop it over there in the?
Yeah, that'd be great if you could. We're gonna drop the handout of the slide over into the handout area, and as you do that, Claude is asking us, can you give us the link to the article? Well, Claude, we have done that. It's actually in the handout we're about to bring right over to you there in the handouts area.
It's just about uploaded. Okay, there it says it's there. So just go check to the handout section of your control panel. Yeah.
There you go. So here's what we would like to do this afternoon. Again, we've got your questions that are going to be coming in, but Patrick, this is probably the top 3 questions that anybody really asks about our training class workshop. What will I learn in 5 days? Will I learn enough? And what will I get at the end of training? I know it says, what can I learn in 5 days? And am I going to learn enough? Patrick, before we even get into anything else, you want to go ahead and talk about what they're going to learn and maybe what they're not going to learn in that live training workshop.
Yeah, well, what they're not going to learn is how to market to doctors the way most companies teach people to market to doctors. It's all wrong, folks. Anything you know or think you know about marketing to doctors, we've learned over the last 25 years how to do it the right way. And so one of the things we do is focus in on that getting your first client. When you leave there on day 1 after you leave, We've got you a jump start that you help to create yourself as to exactly how you want to get started to get that first client, because that's our goal at the end of this workshop. We want everybody to go out and get that first client as quickly as possible. Now, having said that, we do have licensees who've actually talked to doctors before they come to the workshop. And so during the workshop, they'll call them up and say, hey, I just learned about this. Can I come and talk to you next Friday? And so they've set up appointments and gone and signed up doctors the next week. But that's not the typical thing that people do, folks. Most of the time, people come knowing nothing, having not talked to any doctors. We find that's the best way. They have a fresh brain that we just start from scratch and teach them exactly what they need to know. And then usually it would take, on average, about 30 to 60 days to get your first client. So, folks, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Yeah. You will not make money your first week because it just takes time to find a good, solid client that's going to pay you or make you maybe $2,000 or $3,000 a month, for the rest of your life, probably, until the doctor retires.
Yeah. So again, we're going to teach you what you're going to get in the 5 days. Are you going to learn enough? You're going to learn enough, as Patrick just said, to go out there and market to the doctors. Patrick, what about the question about am I going to learn enough about medical billing? What about that part of it? There's these schools that were 6 months to a year about medical billing.
Oh, yeah. You can find courses online how to do medical billing. But, folks, that's if you want to go to work for a doctor. Now, remember, our training is completely different. The focus on how do I start a medical billing business that will actually make me money, and how do I market to doctors. So that's different from any other kind of training. You don't really need training in coding because our cloud-based system has all of the ICD-10 and all the CPT codes. They're all built into our system, as Eric will illustrate a little bit later. So yes, you will learn enough. In this 1 week, from Monday at 8 o'clock till Friday about 1-ish, you will learn more than 99% of all the doctors and medical office managers out there know about the medical billing business. So you will be the expert.
Yep. All right. So we're going to start off with what's called RCM training. What is RCM, Patrick?
Revenue cycle management. In other words, the revenue cycle inside of a doctor's office has to do with all the ways that they bring in revenue or money. That includes billing to the insurance companies, the medical organizations that are out there that pay doctors, Medicare, Medicaid, and of course the patients themselves. So by the end of the training, we certify you as what's called a certified medical revenue manager. Now, we're the only organization that has this certification. And we have this because we train you from day one, every type of thing that could be possibly brought in revenue-wise for the doctor. And there's the certificate that you'll get at the end of the week showing that.
Yeah, and this is kind of maybe a little bit more detailed what it means about revenue cycle management, because folks, you can see here, it's kind of broken into 5 little sections here. Starts with a claim. Actually, it would start, well, and you see there, it's even broken down in there: patient registration, insurance eligibility, and patient appointment. So that's where you think of as the start of the claim. That's whenever the revenue doesn't start, what you think of, medical billing doesn't even start to get down until after the claim submission, after the doctor has seen the patient. So we're actually starting prior to. That's why there is a revenue cycle management. From the time the patient walks in the door to actually the time, and you can see there at the analytics, the payment is posted. So this is everything that you're going to learn during that training workshop. And Patrick, I know that we use different people in our training workshop, but right now we're using one of our licensees to kind of help folks do this because she's actually doing this, right now.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is we could train. Eric and I do some there at the workshop. We've got other staff members we could do the whole week. But instead, we bring in somebody who's actually been doing this, running this as a business, just as you will be. She's a licensee, but she's certified, of course, not only as a medical revenue manager, but as a certified trainer for our company. So she comes in, and believe me, she knows. There's no question you can ask Cynthia that she doesn't know.
Charlene, thank you for the help there. Sometimes we get a little fast with our typing. Sometimes we will fix that one word there. I think we had manger instead of manager. So thank you so much, Charlene. We'll get that taken care of. Hey, that just shows you that we're real, right? We're real folks. We actually do make mistakes once in a while. So I think that's the one that we'll use for 2019. All right. So All right, so when we get here into the revenue cycle management, it actually starts with iClaim and the iClaim training. And that's one of the first things that, I mean, Patrick, everybody wants to know, how do I do medical billing? And you know, I think we made a brilliant decision a few years back of just saying, let's get everybody just logged into the system, bring laptops in, and get their hands into the actual medical billing part of it.
Yeah, in fact, at one time, believe it or not, we didn't do that because we didn't have as sophisticated a system as we have. Now, it's not that it's hard. On day one, you'll be doing medical billing. On our system, through the internet connection there in the hotel, on our laptops, you'll actually be doing it as if you were, you know, at home doing it. And it's not what I call brain surgery, even though you maybe do the billing for a brain surgeon. It's not that hard. And so we get those right in front of you, get that question out of your mind immediately that this is going to be hard. It's not. It's very simple, but the simplicity is there because of the complexity of the programming that's behind our system.
Yeah, you bet. And so what we're going to show you here is a few of the kind of behind the scenes, but before we actually get there, we want to kind of even widen really what's going on with the whole software. Remember, I showed you that slide earlier on that had EMRX and iClaim, and it's got all the iPads and the iPhones that on. There's actually, the reason we call it a practice management system is that there are more than just the doctor and the front office and the billing company working. It's everybody together. So, you know, Patrick, I like to think of it as that we're working in harmony. It's all orchestrated properly with that doctor, their front office staff, and the billing company. So a lot of people think that if I become their new medical billing company, that we're going to erase everybody out of that front office. And really, we're working in conjunction with the doctor, the front office, and their front office staff.
That's right. Now, because it's cloud-based, folks, it means basically that all of this software resides on our servers. You don't put anything on the doctor's computer. You don't put anything on your computer. And so you can show them how that they can get into their browser, go to a certain URL that we'll give you, of course, and then give them the credentials that they need to get into the system. You, as the manager of their entire system, can give access to the doctor, the office manager, the billing clerk, whoever they want, and they can actually get into it so they can do the scheduling, they can do eligibility checking. All of that is available to them from anywhere that has an internet connection. That's what is hard for people to wrap their brain around. There are no downloads of updates or new codes or anything like that because we do that on our end. So every time you log in, you're looking at the latest version of the software. Yeah. And no, you don't have to get rid of people. That, hey, we call it, we teach them to reallocate the people who are doing all this billing stuff to helping the doctor do what they want to do best, which is see more patients more efficiently.
Yep, you bet. So what we're going to do right now is kind of take you on a little demo. Speaking of a demo, Patrick, you want to share what we can actually do for those that are on here today about, you know, our staff here at ABS, right? In a demonstration of the folks that are on the webinar.
Yeah, everybody who's here today, if you will get back with the person who sent you the email inviting you to this webinar, here's what we'll do for you. We will set up a one-on-one using GoToMeeting, something similar to what we're using today, to actually show you the system live and let you ask all the questions you want. We'll take whatever time you need to really understand and wrap your brain around the system. I think if you'll do that, folks, even if you don't know for sure yet that you really maybe want to invest in this business, you will find that this is the best way for you to understand how advanced this system is. Wait till you hear some of the demos that we do for your prospective doctors. Yeah, our staff will get online with your prospective doctor. Once you set up the demo, which we have that set up online, you can do that, and we'll give them a demo themselves, and they are blown away right there. If you've done many of them.
Yeah, I did one just last Monday with a brand new licensee that went through training with Cynthia, except he couldn't make it to the one here at the training workshop, but he already had a kind of a background in this, and he was able to get this thing up and going. He's already made a presentation. I'm just so excited for what he and his wife are already doing. So it's pretty easy. But what we're going to show you right now is really what you're going to learn in that training workshop and the hands-on training that you're actually going to get of getting what's called a super bill. You kind of see that to the left. It's got a procedure code and a diagnosis code that you can see right there. And we're going to show you right over there to click that button where it says create a claim, and we're going to walk you through of doing a patient intake form. Now, a lot of the patient intake form, Patrick, that's a lot that's done by that front office staff. But again, working that super bill or anything else, that's what you're going to be. So we want to show you that how you would work this whole thing together. And you know, Patrick, I think by the end of Monday, everybody gets a good sense that, gosh, this is not as difficult as I thought it might be.
Well, in fact, Eric, we sometimes offer people, if we have some extra time, look, we can keep the computers running here at the end of the day. If you want to stay in here and put in some more claims, you can. But that time, each person sitting at the computers, there's one computer for every 2 people. We swap out and they help one another. But the point is that they have done 2 or 3 or 4 claims and they go, I don't need to do another one. It's the same old thing. Yeah. And that's why, folks, somewhere down the line, after you've done a few hundred of these, you might think about hiring somebody to do it, because you can find people who will do this data entry fairly inexpensively, and you'll still make great money.
Yeah, still make great money. So Abaddon, I hope I said your name correctly, is asking, Patrick, are there any times when the system might be down or may be down?
Well, in 20 years, we've had one downtime that was not scheduled. Yeah, and that was for 2 hours, from like 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning. So it only happens, folks, when there is something really, really drastically that happens, and we just failed to basically tell everybody that we were going to be down. That's why I say it was unscheduled. So it just happens. But folks, because we have redundant servers all over the country, the only time you wouldn't be able to access our system probably is it's going to be your ISP, your internet service provider. For some reason, your internet went down. But as you know, most of the time they can get that back up within an hour or 2. If not, you can use the internet connection you have right here on your phone. Oh, look, there's somebody's new grandson.
I wonder whose that is. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, this is our fifth. And Eric, if any of you want to see, if you want to ever see 763 more of them, I have them right here on my phone. Anytime you want to see them.
We might do a webinar on that one. But what we're showing you here is some of the hands-on work that you'll do on Monday. But what we'd like to do now for the next 2 or 3 minutes is kind of just take you through a little screenshot here of what you do in actually doing the billing. And again,
hey, Eric,
yeah.
Before you get into that, I have a little video that I uploaded that I'd like to show. It's only a minute or so long, but it was from a previous training. Now, not this class, because it was kind of towards the end of the week. But I think people will get a kick out of seeing what we did here with the class.
Yeah, let me see if I can get this up here and play this. Here we go. Let's see if we can get it.
Okay, so this is Patrick Phillips. I'm the founder and CEO of American Business Systems, and we do live training, as you know, down here in Dallas. And so what I thought I would ask this particular class here this week is if they think that this opportunity is really still a good one that they would invest in. Is it, guys? Yeah! Now I paid a lot of money for these actors, so you guys need to pay attention to that.
Oh boy, let me see if I can get back and show our screen back over here. Let me see how I can do that. There we go, back to the main screen.
That was just for fun. But you know what, folks? At the end of the week, people really are that enthusiastic. Now, I told them I was going to do something up there, but they didn't know what. And so when I asked that question, they really literally all leapt to their feet and let everybody who was watching the video know that this really is real. You'll only know that if you come down to the training. And as we'll mention later on, we have a money-back guarantee. So if you get to the end of the week and you don't like it, then just ask for your money back.
Yeah, ask for your money back. All right, let's take this time to kind of just step you through what you would be doing on day one. I mean, we think about this. We want to make sure, again, that you get as much as you can get out of that training. And one of the things that we said at the beginning of the webinar is we're going to show you what you're going to be learning. And this is one of the things is doing the billing. So even though that these are screenshots, it's best we can do outside of just doing a completely live demonstration. But if you want to see that, get back with your business coach and get one scheduled. But entering charges for inside of our system is very easy. I've gone to billing. We're going to go over to where it says professional claims charges. and that's going to get us over here to what's called the CMS 1500. Now, I want you to remember that form, because we're going to talk with you in a minute. Who is your market? So remember CMS 1500. So we're completing a form called CMS 1500. And right here, you're going to put in that one code, which is a diagnosis code, or there could be several diagnosis codes that is given to you by the doctor. Now, this is not coding. We're actually billing. We're actually inputting data that was been given to us, again, from the doctor. And then we're going to put in the dates of service. We're going to be putting in the diagnosis codes. As you can see that we're getting all this typed in there, and it's coming out with the fee schedule. And we can put as many what's called these different lines in there, and it's going to give us our totals at the bottom. We're going to run a couple of other what's called some scrubbing parts of the system that we obviously in real time can't, in a screenshot can't show you, but we can in real time. And then at the end of it, once we've got everything we needed, we click on Create Claim. And Patrick, that's really about it, about actually processing and producing a claim, a medical claim here.
Yeah. Now, Eric went through that in 1 minute's time.
Yeah.
In reality, the first time you do one of these, it could take you 5 minutes to figure all that out, right? But after you've done a few of them in our class, when you get back home and get your first client, you'll already know all this. And then we have training videos, like he said, that you can review when you get back home. Folks, this is the most complete training, step by step. We go through this. You saw in one of the previous pictures there in the classroom that they actually put this up on the screen. And while you're on your laptop, you can look up there and see exactly where we're going step by step. It's very simple.
Yep, very much step by step. Now, Patrick, that was basically, we kind of gone through day one, and we always tell people in their first week or the first part of the training workshop is just hang on, because it'll all start making sense as we go through this. And then obviously one of the things that the people want to know is how would a doctor want to even change their software currently to this iClaim or to this EMRX? And that's why, again, we want to share with you, check with your business coach and see a demonstration. I think you'll get that answer as you kind of go through this. But, the next thing that we're going to talk about, what you learn at that training workshop, is EMRX. And a lot of people may not know what electronic medical records are, but this is it. And it's all part of our continuous system that we have here.
Yeah, and as you can see, we're illustrating there that this actually can run on the doctor's tablet or iPad, so they can literally hold that up while they're in there visiting with the patient. So I've got an iPad here. As you can see, I can actually look at you and at the same time touch some of the buttons that you see illustrated there, so that they know exactly step by step how to put in the data that you need to do the billing back at your office. Now remember, this is all connected to the internet. So anything the doctor puts in here is live on your system instantly if you're there in the system when the doctor is actually submitting this information.
You bet. And that kind of goes along with Claude's question here. If the doctors are using iClaim in their offices, are codes entered automatically? And they do. But actually, Claude, those codes are actually being generated by the electronic medical records. And then that gets put in over to the iClaim practice management side, again, for you to do the billing. And it really is a very seamless transition from one thing to the next. And that's what's nice, Patrick, of having one piece of software that has 4 major functions to it: electronic medical records, iClaim is the billing system and practice management, the patient portal, which I don't think we're going to have time to get in today, and then the clearinghouse that kind of pulls everything together. So, it's a full-blown system. And again, we're going to take you through that. And again, this is what I like to do, Patrick. I did one yesterday morning for our training workshop, and that's kind of take them through a demo as if we were going with their potential client.
Yes, step by step. And folks, we have a whole staff of people actually that can do these demos for the doctors. Like I said, you set it up online. We show up there. The doctor shows up. You can be on the same meeting with us or in the doctor's office, and you'll see it all step by step how we do this. It's just an amazing system. In fact, we've had doctors and their office managers gasp when they see some of the stuff that our system does that they had no idea could be done.
And as you can see here, the EMR system can connect to all the major labs that are out there. So some people ask, well, does it do your prescriptions? It does your prescriptions. You can it labs and prescriptions and available dosages for the doctors, calculators, dosage calculators, favorite drugs, and whatever they want to be able to do. And again, Patrick, if the doctors are concerned about learning a new EMR system, we do try to make it as easy as possible, helping them get up for, as we can see here, designed for speed and flexibility. They can touch their information in there, they could talk, or if they want to, they can type all their notes in there, whatever they'd like to do. But again, it's trying to give them freedom to have a direct dialogue with the patient here.
Yes, that's right. In other words, you've seen a doctor come into an office maybe, and they turn around to the computer or the laptop that's behind them, and so they're not facing you. That feels so impersonal. I had a doctor walk in one time, Eric, and he literally never made eye contact because he was so focused on his little laptop that he brought in. With this iPad or tablet, it runs on anything. The doctor is literally able to look at it and look at you as if it's just a piece of paper in front of him or her. So, and Eric, I love that thing that you just illustrated about the EMRX. Lets the doctor dictate right into the iPad, and it translates it into written notes. So talk about a time saver. Some doctors spend hours after the clinic shuts down catching up on all his notes.
Right. This
is all done in real time.
You bet. All done in real time. So folks, again, if you'd like to see this part of the demonstration, feel free to get back with your ABS coach and we'll get you one set up. Let's get through a couple of, we're at the bottom of the hour, Patrick. Let's see if we can answer a couple of questions. Daniel is asking a question, is that he's been doing some research in medical billing and have seen some articles about maybe a lot of this is going overseas to areas to where medical billing is done outsourced to other countries. Is that any hindrance or any threat to American business systems?
Well, so far, we've not heard anything from our licensees about running into this as a competitive advantage that a company has, because to tell you the truth, doctors want to deal with somebody that's local, that speaks their language, that can communicate with them, and that they don't have any worries about that data, the privacy of their patient data being stolen overseas somewhere and sold, to some nefarious people over there. So no, this is all a HIPAA compliant system, folks. That means the government has certified our system to be privacy locked in for the patients, and you can't lose the data because we have redundant servers and backups every night and so forth. So that's why we haven't been down but that 1-2 hour period in our whole 20 years.
Yeah. And Joseph, you're asking, is there an online option for attending class? There is. We do have an online option, but you need to get with your business coach so that we can make sure that that's actually going to work for you, or how we can maybe get that arranged. But typically, folks, again, nothing takes away from the live training workshop. I mean, the dynamics there. But again, some people cannot maybe be able to make it here. There is an option there. I think we're all caught up on questions, Patrick. So let's just keep going on.
Hey, Eric, I have a poll. Can I throw a poll up on the screen?
Yeah, you bet. Go right ahead.
Let's see who can answer this poll right here. Now, folks, you have to get back to the window if you've been doing your email or watching YouTube videos of cats. Come back to the screen there, and there's a little poll on there. It's just one question. What is your certification at the end of the live training workshop? We had it on the screen earlier, and if you weren't paying attention, you'll get this wrong. So, Eric, I don't know if you can answer one of those or not. Can you actually click on those? I can't. I guess I can't
click on it, but I'm watching the votes that are coming in. We've got, it's keep going up. We're almost at 50% of the voting here. So let's keep going on, folks.
Yep. Just check. There's only one of those that's correct. So check the one you have. I'm going to close it down here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Let's share the results. Had a few people watching those cat videos, but 88% of you got it right. You're a certified medical revenue manager. Now, folks, that's a designation that you can actually put after your name on all your marketing materials, your website, your business card, CMRM. And that carries great weight in today's marketplace because of the Medical Revenue Management Association of America that issues that certification. So go check us out. Check them out on the website there.
You bet.
Okay, that's it. I'm hiding the results.
Okay,
You
there
got
we
it
go.
back
Now
now.
we're back over here. All right, so what we're going to do is talk to you about some of the other services. Now, I have to say this, Patrick. I think you got to watch last Wednesday's webinar. Adam and I really went into detail about some of our other services that you can make money with and how that can actually promote you and helping you get that, maybe sometimes that first-time doctor. But Patrick, a lot of people sometimes still confuse medical billing with medical coding. Do they have to be a medical coder to get into medical billing? We already have some services here. We can start with CodeWrite, Patrick.
Yeah, so the question people wonder about is they've heard about all these codes, and there's thousands of them, by the way, all numeric, alphanumeric now codes. And they're wondering, don't I need to know all those to be able to do the medical billing? Well, folks, the fact is that the doctor's office is the only one that can provide the correct code that you should put in. Any medical billing company that's doing that on their own is got great risk in doing that. So you don't need to know coding because all the codes are built in. They give it to you, and they'll find those codes, as you saw illustrated earlier, in our EMRX system. They're right there. They can pick the right code, and boom, you've got the code. So you don't need to know those. But if the doctor thinks that they may need somebody to review their codes to see if they're really maximizing their revenue, for example, or not over-coding, then we have certified medical coders that can do that for you. You basically will scan the doctor's medical charts, about 50 of them, up to our coders work queue, and they'll do all that coding for the doctor. And of course, that's for a fee. You charge a fee, they charge a fee, and of course, you make money on all these services.
You bet. Yeah. So CodeWrite is, again, really a great way for you to maybe even get in with a doctor. Maybe it's with Audit Guard. Audit Guard actually can, obviously, I think one of the things, let's kind of answer this quickly, Patrick. I mean, a lot of people thinking, oh my goodness, ABS is going to go tell me how to go cold call doctors and how to get all this done. Folks, we're not going to do that. We're going to show you and teach you how to get warm markets in that you can actually offer some of these services without the doctor even know that you're in medical billing. But this one right here, folks, is very good because any doctor seeing Medicare patients is going to be under the microscope for an audit. Now, Patrick, we know that some doctors could be under multiple audits at the same time. And Audit Guard is one of those services that you could actually help with the doctor, more of a preventative maintenance from them getting audited by Medicare, and help them get them and build a trust relationship with those doctors pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that doctors can overcode. So let's say that the doctor sees the patient for 15 minutes, but the code they used is for a 30-minute visit. They can get in trouble for that and find, get this, up to $10,000 for every infraction. Yeah. So that can bankrupt a doctor pretty fast. They're all scared of Medicare just showing up out of the blue, that's what they do, and doing these audits. We can prepare them for that and have documentation that you have been following all the rules and regulations for coding correctly, and provide that to the auditors if they do show up at the doctor's office. Very valuable service. It's saved doctors thousands of dollars in fines.
Matter of fact, here are some of the summaries, some of the charts, the tables that come out. And Patrick, one good thing that we can have everybody rest assured right now, you are not having to present this to the doctor. It's our certified professional coders that's actually presenting all of this information on your behalf to the doctor.
That's right. So basically, you're offering this service through us, through our certified coders, who basically do all this for you, prepare the reports, send them back to you, and then go over this with the doctor. So you really don't literally need to know anything but how to sign them up for this.
Right. Joseph is asking, Patrick, does this work for all types of doctors and all clinics? It does. It really, really does. Because remember, we're going to show you in just a moment who's your market, who's going to be out there. It could be, I always like to say, from chiropractors, and I don't take anything away from chiropractors. I love our chiropractors, but all the way up to you're thinking of your brain surgeons. So anybody that's in between that spectrum is a potential client that you could utilize any of these services that we're talking about already. Let's move on to.
I don't think we've shown.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say at our workshop, we go over about 70 some odd specialties that you can do the billing for. There's that many different medical specialties out there, folks. So yeah, it's unlimited. So any type of doctor, and all these services apply to all of them.
Yeah, all of them, especially collections. And Patrick, a lot of people go, I had some calls yesterday that I had, am I going to have to do collections? Am I going to have to call the patients? No, you don't have to do that. But you've got to remember, as a medical revenue manager, you are managing the entire revenue of the doctor. So there may be some collections that you'll have to do, but we have a service called Quick Collect that can help that, because you can see right up at the top, sometimes managing receivables, that's the doctor's money, is often the last item on the to-do list. So let's make sure that we get everything in there for the doctor.
Yeah, Eric, doctors, they run a business, right? It's a business. It has to make a profit for them to stay in practice. But they call it a practice, probably because they're still practicing on how they can get us well. But the point is, they don't have the time or the personnel to really focus on their revenue. And that's why some of them are losing up to 30% of their revenue that they could be collecting if they had the right services. Now, as Eric said, this is not something that you ever have to get involved in other than sign the doctor up on it. It's an automated online cloud-based system that actually collects the money from the patients without any contact on your part whatsoever. Right. And Eric, you can't read that flyer there, but it's really tiny. But one of the first things it says is triple the average recovery rate.
Correct.
So think about it this way. Doctors don't collect but about half of all the money that they bill to patients. People don't realize they don't collect but half of that. The rest of it they just write off at the end of the year. Well, they'd rather have the money in their bank. And we can triple that collection rate easily.
You bet. The other one is called Choice Pay. And Choice Pay is just a way, we're at the beginning of the year. You got new deductibles. Those deductibles are high. Those patients are going to need to pay these deductibles out. So Choice Pay gives that option for that doctor. Instead of sending them to Care Credit or Care Now or Care Credit to pay for those deductibles, the doctor can choose Choice Pay for his patients or her patients to have that paid over a series of time, and that gets automatically collected and back into the doctor's pocket.
And this is available in the doctor's office through our system, but it's also available through the patient portal, which we haven't talked about. But that's another thing that you can offer to doctors, is this wonderful high-tech patient portal that lets the patient log in and manage all of their reports, every visit, every appointment, all their narcotics, everything is right there in the system. And we've even got what we call telemedicine. I think we call it e-visits, but that's the future, Eric, is you're not going to have to go to the doctor. They'll sit just talking to one another, just like you and I are right here over our built-in HIPAA compliance system.
Yeah, absolutely. Joseph is asking the question, being in Florida, on the west coast of Florida, I guess, there are many options. How about privately owned ambulance companies? Yes, you can. You certainly can.
Eric, I actually have a book up here. The name of it is Prepare to be a Millionaire. And it's about different industries that you can get into to make money. One of them is this industry. And the guy that wrote the chapter started and got big billing for ambulance services.
There you go. You certainly can do that. You bet. All right, moving on is document management services. And folks, you got to know that there's a 7-year minimum requirement for doctors to keep all of their documentation. And a lot of times, Patrick, that's taking up other space where they could actually be using it for an examining room.
Yeah, look at that picture, folks. You'll see those kinds of files sometimes right behind the doctor's staff there in the office. And all of those are patient files, of course, but not of them are current patients. The doctor might only see 300 or 400 patients a month on a regular basis, but there could be thousands of these documents. Why? Because by law, they have to keep them for up to 7 years. So they're just taking up valuable real estate space that they could use for another patient visiting room. So what we do is we have a service that you can offer to the doctor to scan all of those documents into our HIPAA compliant online document management system, which goes way beyond just storing documents. You can literally search the documents by keywords and store them any way you want to. It's just a wonderful system that doctors absolutely fall in love with. Eric, we had a guy, one of our licensees down in Houston, actually signed up Now, this wasn't a doctor because this could be used for a lot of different businesses, but he signed up a big ranch down there. And
Yeah.
this ranch had so much paperwork, they got this system. He made $10,000 a month just providing the scanning service for this.
My goodness.
Yeah. So there's lots of money to be made in document management.
Well, and again, we're going to show, I think this might be one of our last services that we'll actually kind of go through this afternoon. But remember, each one of these is used in the marketing aspect of how to get that doctor. And if you're afraid to walk into any doctor's office and ask them, hey, I'm here to do your billing, I'd like to get the opportunity to do your billing. You know what? You could just walk into a doctor's office and say, hey, I'd like to talk with your compliancy officer. Are they available to see me? Now you're going to have the hair on the back of their heads rise up, Patrick.
Yeah, Eric, I think you're paused. Oh, no, there it is. It showed up a little late on my computer.
Yep.
So HIPAA compliance. Now, folks, you all know that has to do with patient privacy, right? And like Eric said, if you walk in and say, can I talk to your HIPAA compliancy officer? They don't have one probably. They're supposed to have one. That's the person who makes sure that everybody in the office is keeping the patient information private. Eric, I can guarantee you that I could go knock on 10 doors and 9 of them are not compliant in one way or another.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, the last time I went to a doctor's office, it seemed like they had somebody else's file opened up right there, and it doesn't take, much to find out that that person might have a disease that I don't want to know about. So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's
it
right.
truly is. That's an issue. Or I can see a patient's name and a phone number. And so just seeing that in any doctor's office is a quick giveaway that they've got some compliancy issues. And again, folks, we have these services to help you get introduced into the doctor's office. I mean, imagine, Patrick, that one of the things you might learn to do is go to a chamber conference or chamber luncheon or your local chamber of commerce luncheon. And people, everybody's going to ask, well, so what kind of business are you in? Well, I'm in the HIPAA compliancy division for our company, and we're trying to help doctors make sure that they're in HIPAA compliance. Believe me, I go, gosh, I think I know a doctor that I can probably relay you to. And
well, you can ask that question. Have you ever been to a doctor's office and seen the patient records for other patients right there on the front desk? Most people say, yeah, I've seen that before. Well, even though you may think, well, oh, the guy couldn't see that, it's upside down, so forth. There's people who could steal those, take pictures of them, all kinds of things there that could be violations of that.
Yeah.
Hey, Eric, this kind of ties in with I want to wrap this up by saying, Daniel's asking a question, do licensees need to pay for all these extra services? No. Everything we've covered today, folks, is all in that one comprehensive, one-time, lifetime licensing fee of about $27,000. So you don't pay for these, and they're all optional. If this is overwhelming to you, don't worry about it. You don't have to offer any of these. We do cover these in the workshop, as you know, Eric, but not in depth, because you can always go back to your office and go to our online portal for licensees where you have all these training videos that teach you about all these services.
You bet. Absolutely. Patrick, I know you're going to have to get ready to go here shortly, so I'm going to try to get as much of your time as possible because you actually get the marketing training kicked off, and you actually did that today. Yes,
and I love it, folks, because by the midweek here, this is Wednesday, you see, about Wednesday noon after you come back from lunch, which we provide all the lunches during the week, by the way. This is where I get up and kind of kick off the marketing training. And it's hilarious because by this time, people know all about all the different services and medical billing, but they're now wondering, how in the world do I get a client? Because that's what everybody's worried about. Believe me, that is the one thing that we focus on for a whole day. From Wednesday noon to Thursday noon, we're focused on marketing, how to get a doctor signed up. And once you see the things we've come up with, folks, they all work, but some of them, you may like one better than another. So you try whatever works for you. And they all work to get doctors because we've tested them. If they don't work, we kick them out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and we kick out that service or that whatever it might be. But one of the things that you're going to go through this is who is your target market. Remember, I mentioned that earlier. So as you can see here, any provider, any doctor, any surgeon, any nurse practitioner, anybody that uses what's called the CMS 1500 form is part of your target market. So your market is just huge out there when you're looking at what kind of market that you're going to be doing. And one of the things that Patrick and the rest of the group is going to show you during that training workshop is that what you're not necessarily looking for doctors. Patrick, why are we looking for power partners?
Yeah, that's surprising to a lot of people. That, well, you mean I don't know any doctors? How am I going to start marketing to doctors? Well, there are people in your area that know doctors and that are connected to doctors, and maybe they market some other product or service. Mm-hmm. These are what we call power partners. We're going to show you exactly where to go find these people, what to say to engage with them, why they would want to engage with you and share their contacts, and let them introduce you to the doctors. Yeah. So it's a referral business is basically what it boils down to.
Yeah,
pharmaceutical reps, for example. Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody loves a referral. Yeah, go ahead, Patrick. I'm sorry I spoke over, but I was just going to kind of wrap up what you're saying. Everybody loves a referral, whether a referral is coming from me or, I might get the recipient of that referral from somebody else.
Right. And we show you how to make partnerships with those people so that they constantly feed you new doctors that you can contact and say, hey, Bob Smith said that you might be interested in doing a free practice analysis, and I'm just calling to see if I can set that up. And it's done usually with the office manager anyway. But bankers, medical insurance salespeople, anybody who has contacts with doctors are the people that we're going to teach you where to find them and how to engage with them.
You bet. And we've got the top end professional marketing material, everything from all the what you call marketing flyers. We have an entire support system that's going to be behind you. You're going to get a website with us. You're going to get well, let's just get into it. I mean, we're going to try to position you as that subject matter expert, but we're going to do that with people like Dr. Vicki Rachner.
Yeah, so folks, when we say the subject matter expert, people want to do business with people that they feel like know what they're talking about. So you actually become partners with a doctor. Now, Dr. Vicki Rachner is a famous doctor. She's a retired general surgeon. She's written a dozen books. You can find those on Amazon out there. And she's been interviewed by every major newspaper and magazine and TV and radio in the country. Plus, she gives seminars for doctors all over the country. So she's well known, well respected. And we're going to show you how you partner with her in a book that she and I wrote for you as a marketing tool.
Yeah. Talk to us about the new Thriving Medical Practice, Patrick.
Yeah, so this book, folks, was written specifically for doctors who are in private practice. That's your target market, right? And they're not thriving right now. Some of them are struggling to stay in practice. So when we give them this book, you give them this book, it's about a 200-page book. They are thrilled to have another doctor sharing with them how they can thrive in their medical practice. Now, the neat part about this is not only is it written by a doctor and me, but at the bottom, you are going to be the person who's written the foreword. That's right. We have a foreword that's a pretty standard foreword. You can write your own if you want to, but the point is you don't have to. We've already got one, and your name goes right on the front cover. Now, folks, you can't get a better marketing tool than this because it positions you as the expert because, well, you wouldn't have written the foreword of this book if you didn't know Dr. Vicki. And you'll be introduced to her during the workshop and you become partners with her. Then on the inside of the book, your name is not only on the title page there, but as you can see on the right-hand side, that's the end of the foreword. It's a two-page foreword that we've written. It's very generic, but you get to put your name and contact information right there in the book. Now, folks, you get a supply of these to start with, and then you can reorder them as you need them for our printing cost. This is on Amazon for $24.95, and doctors buy it all day long. But you buy them with your name on the cover for our printing cost.
$4. I think it just kind of just bleeped out on you there, but for about $4. But again, being associated with Dr. Rachner, the support that you're getting behind ABS. One of the other things we talk about how to automate your marketing is sometimes with sales reps. And Patrick, we know that some people just get real busy on building their business and they're doing their marketing, but they may want to branch out and use a sales rep. So what we're going to show you during that training workshop is how to find a sales rep and how to interview them, hire them, train them.
Eric, you were gone for the last 60 seconds.
I'm sorry?
Your audio was gone for the last minute.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that they can hear me because I asked them to type something in that question box. Maybe I'm muted now, but I don't see anybody typing anything in.
Yep, I think. Well, I'm hearing you. Hopefully, you're hearing me. So at least we're talking together. Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Just says I'm hearing. Yep. We see here both. Thank you for everybody. But again, if you need some help with your marketing, we're going to show you how to actually do work with some sales reps. And then by the end of the day, Patrick, I think this is one of those best parts of ABS, because everybody on the last day, when they leave, the support and the training does not end on Friday afternoon. It's a continual thing that you get for a lifetime being at ABS.
Yeah, we used to have a 1-year support, and then you would pay a fee every year after that to be supported. But at one point, we decided, since we make money on the back end from all of the clients that you sign up with our connection with our technology partners, we decided to give lifetime support. That means, folks, as long as you're a licensee, we've been doing this for 25 years, we'll be another 25 years at least, you will be supported by us. Now, at some point, after maybe a year or two, you may not feel like you need any support at all. But if you do, we've got a whole staff of people. There's a picture of our actual support department there in California. We have offices, virtual offices all over the country, but this is one where we actually have people staffed to answer all your questions for you from a technical standpoint.
You bet. Yep. And that's here in the U.S. So that folks, you'll get a U.S.-based support team and our licensee support site. This is where you're going to want to get started. You want to get started here in our licensee support site. We're going to get you started, show you how to get your website up, what you need to do there, have all the different services, the marketing, the tools, all the resources. So, Patrick, we used to. This was a while back when people actually had CDs in their computers. You remember where we could send everybody home with a stack of CDs and videos and DVDs that has all this stuff on there. Well, folks, all the videos, all the resources, the contracts, your proposals, everything is listed here on our licensee support site.
Yeah, we've had this, I think we've had this about 7 or 8 years, Eric, and there's literally hundreds of hours of training webinars that we've posted on there because, as you know, once people are a licensee, they come to our webinars on Fridays, and we've just got dozens and dozens and dozens of things for you. Eric, I have to go. Can you skip down to the guarantee? Let me just talk about that quickly, though.
Yeah, you bet. Let me get there for you. Oh, I just blocked out of that thing here. 1 second. Let me get over there to that money back guarantee.
So, folks, while he's finding that, let me just say this. We just decided a few years back that there's only one thing that we were lacking, and that was proof. How do we prove to people that what we're saying on these webinars is right? Because we can be saying anything and you'd believe us, right? But the way we did that was by coming up with what we call our 100% money back guarantee. Now, that means that at the end of that training workshop, you have to pay your license fee, you have to come to the workshop, but for any reason you don't think this business is right for you, that's your decision, not ours, just tell any of our staff and they'll arrange for you to receive a full refund of your license fee. It doesn't get any better than that. And folks, yes, we've probably had a couple of people take advantage of us, but really a handful of people in 25 years, we know what we have. And so that's why we do that. And that should give you assurance that you can just come down here, and if you don't like it, get all your money back. Eric, I got to run. Thanks for putting this together today. I'll let you wrap it up.